Talking CRM with Jeff and David, getting the best value for the whole organization from your integrated CRM and accounting systems. David Beard, CRM Principal, and Jeff Richards, Head of Training Program Development for Sage CRM, spend time chatting with customers, resellers, and others about Sage CRM in action around the globe. In this episode, Marc talks about how he chose the path, or rather the path chose him, in becoming a Sage CRM ISV partner, and how customers are awakening to the potential of Sage CRM having everything in one place. But what prompted you to sort of strike out on your own and keep going with the product?
In a way, a lot of it was by accident, really. I'd love to say I had this plan, to strike out on my own and all that. It's a bit more complicated than that. And I think at some point, a few years down the line, I went, how the hell did I end up here? But yeah, I suppose, look, when you're familiar with something, maybe it was the easier path, in hindsight. Maybe at the time I wouldn't have thought so, but maybe in hindsight, yes, and maybe it was, Someone who has their own business actually said to me, oh, you're so lucky, you know exactly who your customer is. And I went, you're right, actually, because this guy didn't have a clue. He thought everyone was his customer. And I thought, oh, you're actually right. I know exactly who my customer is, and you don't. You're not really sure. So I can easily qualify a customer and go, have you got Sage CRM? No, okay. Well, you should get it. And when you do get it, come back to us. I know we're kind of laughing about it, but actually, that's a very powerful thing. Not only do I know they're potentially a customer, they're actually warm. They know exactly what we're talking about. So it is, I suppose, in a way, it's a niche, but there's nothing wrong with niches, no. And you can see the benefits versus you sell some generic tool,
Nearly everyone who is selling a product related to another product will be operating by definition in a niche. Thinking about your own business, the opportunity that the predefined and warm niche that you found, is it a growing niche or a niche which has got capabilities?
Definitely think we definitely see the channel growing again. We are engaging with a lot of partners now who are starting to realize, well, actually, Sage CRM has a great opportunity to upsell into their existing base, especially for the US partners. Yeah, the penetration of CRM is still quite low in terms of the Sage 100 and 300 channels. And I was talking to a partner just before this podcast actually, and they said that the penetration was maybe 12% of CRMs in general in their actual existing ERP customer base. That leaves huge scope to actually grow CRM. We have great partners and they're actively selling CRM. What people probably don't appreciate is actually the benefits of how you can actually just run everything on this. You could run your complete business on. So we run everything. All our data is in Sage CRM. All our partners, everything they've sold. And I think that's the biggest competitor to CRM. You're really competing against spreadsheets. And I think
there's inertia, isn't there? People just say, I do it this way. That's our biggest selling obstacle, I think. It's just the inertia of change.
And maybe tools like Outlook, for example, because people use Outlook as their CRM. They use their email as their CRM. If I come back to Accelerator again, this is where, by having Accelerator deep in Outlook, it doesn't feel like it's another system. I think a lot of challenges in general with CRMs, they're in their email and then they have this other system they have to go to put the data in. And it's just that friction is there, and people are busy or people are lazy, and but we can either give out about it or we can try and address it, and so we try and address it with our products.
How do you sell around the world?
Well, we try and onboard the Sage partners that are selling Sage CRM. What we do is we contact the partners and we just show them, here's how you can. This is going to help you sell Sage CRM. This is going to help you not only Sage CRM. It's going to help you keep the customers past year one, which is even more important now on the subscription model because it's more expensive per year. When you had perpetual pricing, people maybe cared less and maybe they were just paying their bit of maintenance. Where I think it's far more important now that they're seeing the value every year with the SaaS model. They're more aware of that cost, and especially if you have, say, for example, you have the current pandemic, people, the first thing they do is look and they go, what am I going to cut? Yeah. Do you want them to go and cut Sage CRM? No, because you want it to be part of their core business, how they run their business. It should be the last thing they want to cut. And so we basically say, this is what we sell. We will sell this retention to you effectively from a partner point of view, that you'll retain these customers and that you'll win new customers.
Mark, the tools you mentioned, Accelerator, MobileX, etc., because they're at the sharp end of a user's experience, they do even a better job of keeping people on board with CRM?
Absolutely. I think Accelerator more than any of them, because Outlook is just a tool everyone's gone into. Yeah. And as I said, it's so deeply embedded into Outlook that it just seems like part of it, And again, when we're selling the Accelerator product, that's what we're saying, and and this message resonates with the end customer. And this is what they say. They go, oh yeah, we get it. You have an email. You can take an email address in Accelerator and you can create a company out of it and create an opportunity in seconds. It's not an exaggeration. It's what we do in the demos. And people go, oh, hang on, because what do they normally do? They got to switch into CRM mode, copy and paste, create a person,
create a new record,
save, click, opportunity. It's quite laborious, And this is just a general. This is all CRMs have this same issue, really, So yeah, we just try and make it that it just feels like part of it. But at the same time, we're not saying, oh, we're taking over, our product takes over from Sage CRM, because it doesn't. It gets them, though, to a point, and then they can click into it and it opens up the full CRM.
It accelerates them.
Exactly.
The product,
yeah. So it gets them directly into product quicker. And it just feels like Outlook. They've done it from Outlook. They haven't gone in and gone, new browser, what's that URL again that they gave me? Where's that email with that URL I have with my log on? It's all just there as part of it.
And it's interesting reflection, is it? Because people have been proclaiming the death of email for probably a decade or more now, and it just won't die. It just won't happen.
No. And actually, people are giving out about Slack now.
May I change the subject slightly and looking at trends, because you've established that certainly in the CRM customer base, the 300 and 100 based in North America, people are using Outlook for their internal communications and external communications. But you've mentioned your portal. You've mentioned the portal for the self-service side. But in terms of interactions, what are the other trends that you actually see impacting CRM customers? So are you seeing people actually making much business use in a Sage environment for social media packages like Twitter, or using collaboration software like Teams or like Yammer, other styles like Slack? What are people using in competition of email?
Definitely Teams is certainly on the rise, but in terms of integration with CRMs, I haven't seen anything. I don't get the whole hype about it, but I didn't get it about Slack either. I'm on the kind of wait and see side with that, and maybe part of it is just my personal feelings about Teams.
You just don't collaborate with anybody, do you, Mark?
Yeah.
That's writing code.
I suppose we do. Yeah, well, internally for projects we use Basecamp. Actually, I quite like those tools, but no one else on the team did. It's hard. You're fighting a fight here, and it's hard, and it's a bit like someone fighting again with the CRMs.
You got to get people to collaborate on the collaboration tool first, right?
Yeah, exactly.
In the next episode, Mark thinks out loud about future trends he sees for Sage CRM, from collaboration to integration, and the reality of what customers really ask for and what he will build. You've been listening to Talking CRM with Jeff and David, getting the best for the whole organization from your integrated CRM and accounting systems.